Well. We finally hear from Vic Fangio on Cooper DeJean and his future and where he's going to put him. We finally get the answer on that now. And we're going to be talking about cornerbacks because they have a lot of interest in corners. But why? And what are they really looking for this year? Okay, so a lot going on. So let's talk about all of it. Let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope it's having a fantastic day today. This video is sponsored by BetUS, so definitely go check them out if you guys have not, okay? Now, we finally get an answer, okay, from Vic Fangio's words from himself about Cooper DeJean and his future and what's really going on, at least for 25 and onward. So Cooper DeJean, it looks like that Vic Fangio wants him to stay at the inside corner spot for the 2025 season. Okay. And he says not only this season, but the rest of his career. Says DeJean has superstar potential and was an outside corner in college. The switch from outside corner to nickel was incredibly beneficial for the Eagles. In 27, I fully expect Cooper DeJean to be the highest paid nickel cornerback in NFL history if he keeps this up. So, what answers do we have from this? Well, let me tell you something. Cornerback 2 is going to be hell interesting. Okay, whether you're going to have a competition between Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, okay, and then you have Quinyon Mitchell as your number one lockdown. We all know where he is in the secondary. But that inside corner spot the last 2 years, besides 24, has been one of the biggest weaknesses. You could have two of the best outside corners in the league. But if you have bad linebackers and you really have a bad inside corner, we get exposed. How many times have offenses put their number one receiver on the inside and we just get exposed? You know what I mean? You can have a Quinyon and you can have a Slay on the outside, but if that inside isn't locked down, you're gonna have some issues all game. And it took 4 or 5 weeks for Cooper DeJean to be the full-time starter in 24, and when he fully was in there, everything changed with that position. And I'm really happy, okay, that DeJean is staying in that spot because I didn't know if they were going to move him to the outside or something like that. I didn't know what was going to happen. So they must feel really good about the competition at number two. And obviously, you have a draft, that you're probably going to draft another guy that's going to be a nice rotational, or not a rotational, but a guy that is a hybrid guy, that could, be here for the next few years and really turn up at some of these positions. So I think the competition is going to be really good. Cooper DeJean's off the punt returns now, which is great because they signed Avery Williams. I think the guy from the Falcons, a return specialist, which is good. They got to get him off there because Cooper DeJean has way too much value right now. But to hear that from Vic Fangio, that's nice. At least we have somewhat of an answer of Cooper DeJean, not only for 25, his future with the Philadelphia Eagles, and having him on the inside it's not an easy position. I think the inside position is way harder than the outside position, and we've had just Avonte Max just didn't really cut it. Couldn't cover big tight ends. Couldn't really cover those speedy, fast, twitchy type receivers on the inside. And now you actually have some good linebackers with Zach Bond being re-signed, and whether Trotter Jr. is going to get a shot or they're going to do something else at that position, we'll see. But this is very good news. This is actually the first official answer we've gotten like this offseason on a specific player and what's going to happen here, which is a good thing. So shout out to Cooper DeJean, and we really have to trust on, Vic Fangio's process and how he, look, he wants to put a player, he wants to keep a player somewhere, whatever. Okay. Outside corners get paid a lot of money. Nickel corners can get paid a lot of money, but this is a guy that, could play inside to outside, played outside to inside from college to the NFL. Quinyon Mitchell in training camp was literally playing the inside corner spot. And remember, DeJean was hurt the entire offseason program, besides the joint practice to the Patriots where he returned. And then he played in one preseason game. Then it took him like 4 or 5 weeks just to be the full-time starter. So, Quinyon Mitchell was playing a lot of inside. And it kind of scared me a little bit because remember, Isaiah Rodgers messed up his hand. He had a hand injury right before that first game in Brazil. And then they moved Quinyon Mitchell to the outside. So I don't know if Quinyon was supposed to play on that inside for long. So I'm not really sure. But I'm glad it worked out. And it got us a Super Bowl championship. You know what I mean? So, I think Cooper DeJean is one of the smartest, high IQ players we have. And that inside spot is set for years to come, and definitely trust Vic Fangio and the direction he's going in right now. So very happy about that. Now we're gonna be going into obviously some of the pre-draft visits for the Eagles. Cornerback. Cornerback is an interesting one because there's no way they would draft another corner in the first round, right? There's probably one guy here that is a late first round talent to most likely second day. So with some of these guys, you're looking second day to a mid round pick, most likely. Okay. You have guys like, Jacob Parrish from Kansas State that they did meet at the Senior Bowl. So you have to look at it from a wide lens. How many times have they really, met up with this player? They've done it twice already. I think they met up with him at the Combine and the Senior Bowl. Okay, good player, man. I mean, realistically, 19 pass deflects, I think 6 picks within 2 years from 22 to 24. Versatility inside, outside, he can get his hands on the football. You're just looking for, a lot of speed. These are the type of guys, they're kind of looking for right now. Trey Amos, another one, a Alabama transfer to Ole Miss, another guy that they really like to play inside outside. He only allowed 41 receptions, 82 targets, 381 yards, and only 3 touchdowns. Okay, which is pretty amazing. Okay, and could be a mid round pick, maybe a day 2 pick, really a mid round pick. I mean, they're looking for guys with versatility as well, like I said. So this is another guy they've had on their radar, and they've met him at the Senior Bowl as well. Okay, so got to look closely at some of the guys that they have met up with a couple times already, and now they're on pre-draft visits, which are great. So there's a lot of interest there. They have Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky, and another one that's versatility, 4.28 speed. Guy should be. I think this is another guy that could be almost a late first rounder, maybe, or a second day, just depending on how the board falls between offensive players, defensive line, things like that, because things could change for some of these players, especially at cornerback, to the mid to late first rounds, and obviously every team and what their needs are going forward. You know what I mean? So another guy could be late first, and like I said, versatility, inside, outside. They're looking for a hybrid type player that can move around the field right now, which is great. So between Jacob Parrish, Trey Amos, Maxwell Hairston, so there's a few guys out there. They have some pre-draft visits that they met with on multiple occasions now. So why are they going after cornerback? What are they looking for? Are they looking for competition for cornerback too? Not really sure, but I would say that they're going to be involved. Obviously, inside they'll play inside, outside throughout camp, and we're gonna, Fangio will figure out what their strong suit's going to be with this team, because you're going to have an active roster. You're going to have to, a roster that you're going to have to put together, and what guys can make it. And Hairston's another guy. Like if he gets past, he gets in the second round and the Eagles are there, they could take him, just depending on obviously, what they're doing at safety, what they're doing at tight end right now. If Goddard is getting traded, which it looks like, and if they don't really have a defensive lineman on their mind in day 2 because they took care of it in round 1, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out. So you need depth at that nickel corner, the inside corner spot. You need depth there. And I think that's what they're looking for too, because unfortunately, there's nobody. I don't even know who else can really take that spot. Ringo's now going to be a cornerback too, but before that, he can't play the inside anyway. Eli Ricks can't play the inside. So at this point, like they need depth. It's hard to get depth at cornerback now. Okay. Because sooner or later, you have a while now for some contracts to expire in a few years with DeJean, obviously, and Quinyon Mitchell. And I'd say draft another guy. You never know what's going to happen. Fangio could change somebody's position. Who knows? DeJean might be an outside guy later on. Even though what he says things now, it could change later on. But they're not just grabbing a guy here. You get a guy in the mid round, you're looking for a guy that can play multiple positions, that can hold their own, and that's what they're kind of looking for. So get these guys into camp and see what they could do. I feel like a corner is going to be there for them, and I feel like they definitely have interest there. You don't want to go into, losing Isaiah Rodgers was a big one, but obviously you got a pick for him in 20, a comp pick for 26. So losing Isaiah Rodgers was it was going to happen if they were getting a comp pick, but for not really much money, they could have probably signed him back, but you lost a little bit of depth, and then with Slay, and they had to go out and sign a veteran like a Dory Jackson, and they have Keely Ringo on the roster that they're very high on right now. I mean, Christian Parker is high on Keely Ringo. So you might be surprised at a corner being picked pretty early, and I could probably say it might happen here. Depending how this draft goes and how the board falls, I think there's going to be a lot of interest moving forward. So I know I was kind of yapping around a little bit back and forth, just all over the place, but realistically, they're looking for a corner that can play inside, outside, versatility, speed, twitchiness, a very rangy type guy that catches on quick. And I think they'll draft one of these guys. I think one of these guys will be a Philadelphia Eagle. Just depending where if these guys fall a little further than expected, if some of these guys, at least, especially Trey Amos or, Jacob Parrish, if those two guys get to the third round, I think you gotta draft one of them there. I think that's a no brainer in my opinion. Maxwell Hairston's really good unless somebody takes him late first rounder to maybe early second day, because the Eagles still are. I forgot where they are in the second round, but they're not up there in the second round too much. So they're like in the middle of the pack up there. So we'll see how it goes. But other than that, guys, let me know what you guys think about the cornerbacks coming out, who the Eagles have met with so far. Which is your favorite cornerback, really? And who would you draft if you had a choice here? And what do you guys think about the cornerback 2 position? Do you think it's set with Keely Ringo and, with the competition that's going on there? And what do you guys think about Cooper DeJean and Vic Fangio's quotes on him, his future in Philadelphia? And are you upset that he's going to play the inside the rest of his career, especially when, if Vic Fangio's here, that's what he's going to be doing? You guys let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news, and definitely like the video because it helps out tremendously. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follow, slap, peace out, guys. Peace.